Good day, ladies and gentlemen from the YouTube side of things. Do you want to come and berate me with nonsense? Do you want to make me look like an absolute fool? Then please, come by the Twitch side of things at any given time and throw things at me. Redeem things that make me look like a fool. I would love you to do so. But today, we have more reactionary slop to do, which is very important because I'm not a YouTuber. No, I'm not. I'm just a slime girl that ended up in front of a webcam to try and project my scuff onto the internet, and that's where we are now. But do you know who are YouTubers? Bad people. That's who they are. YouTubers are bad people. And today, we're going to be watching a video by SunnyV2 showing us the 10 YouTubers, 10 of the biggest YouTubers who did a bad and got permanently banned, and why. I'm going to apologize ahead of time. Chat in my Twitch chat right now in a bit of a ruckus. They're kind of revolting a little bit. They're trying to ask for, you know, rights and privileges within the Kari mansion. So they're all kind of throw things at me. So if you see random things happening, that's why. But we're going to try and enjoy the video anyway. Because content. Because slop. Because I need stuff to go up whilst I get this through this donathon so I can have some cadence of content to make it feel like I'm doing something constructive. Let's watch!
List these 10 permanently banned channels, from smallest to largest, explaining what they did.
Before we start, I would like to say, I'd like to think that I'm a pretty good content creator. I have done a very diligent job staying out of trouble, you know? I can maybe count on one hand, one of these big old inky grippers, how much drama I have been in my life. So it kind of baffles me sometimes when I see other content creators who seem
Somebody just threw bits at Makari. What a simple...
When I see other content creators who...
69 boy.
Yes. When I see other content creators who somehow still manage to lack the common sense to know what is and isn't appropriate in the workplace.
Beginning with the most unlikable channel in YouTube history called It's Owen. You might
Who?
recognize...
It's Owen. 3.5 million subscribers. Who? You know what? I know who. Who cares?
the channel from his notoriously terrible intros.
Like this video and subscribe right now.
Oh, yo, guys, you gotta like and
Always
subscribe.
placed after shameless clickbait like Charlie D'Amelio is dying today. On top of this, Owen relentlessly clickbaited fake Mr.
Okay, let's talk. Okay, getting banned is one thing, but I think getting banned for cringe should also be a viable thing. Like, getting banned for things that break TOS is a definite, obviously, the kind of thing, right? But getting banned for being a little cretin for abusing algorithm, like baiting Mr. Beast videos, or, you know, faking someone's death. Hold on, I want to see if this guy's still making content. Hold up a sec. It's Owen. Has he learned his lesson? Oh no, because he's banned permanently. Never mind.
Beast scenarios. However, after Technoblade's passing on the 30th of June 2022...
Oh, I remember this. Dude, I wasn't even part of the... I wasn't even part of the Minecraft sphere, and I heard of this. Like, this was a big, sad moment for the internet.
Owen took his...
And you know what? It really is a prevalent thing. The fact that so many people were... Like, you can always have an identifier to who the bad actors are in the content creation sphere, because it's always the people who take advantage of other people's suffering that are the people that you should avoid. Like, the amount of times I've seen somebody die, like those those shitty 3 a.m. I talked to Skibbity Toilet challenge or something. You know what I mean, right? Those people who, like... So as I was saying, you can always tell the people that you should probably be trying to avoid, because it's those absolute cretins that make those spoke to etiquette 3 a.m. YouTube challenge or whatever they used to be called, because that's the kind of shit that has no place being on YouTube. Like, how much of a low scum bastard do you need to be to let somebody else's tragedy be your gain? Like, how little what would be the word? How little is your PP that's how you have to kind of make your content?
Scumbaggery to a point of no return.
Yes, scumbaggery.
He uploaded
I
a video
like that
titled
word.
Mr. Beast Final Goodbye to Technoblade,
What?
with the introduction stating this.
This is Mr. Beast's final goodbye to Technoblade and their last time playing Minecraft together.
Although the video showed nothing more than Technoblade playing Minecraft and a completely fabricated Mr. Beast tweet. The video received over...
Another way of telling when someone's completely unethical and a bad actor. Utilizing Mr. Beast in every one of your bits of content. Isn't it a funny thing? Isn't it funny? The people with the worst content are the people who rely on other people the most. It's almost like the VTubing sphere in its entirety relying on collabs far too much, but that's a different story.
But 800,000 views in under 24 hours. Yet with a top comment reading, the amount of disrespect this guy has is unlike anything I've ever seen before. Complete and utter shame. He was about to face some serious backlash.
So there's a sentiment of fake it till you make it, but don't do it like that. Good lord.
YouTubers clickbaiting
you know you fucked
Technoblade's
up when
death for views
Charlie
has
B
made
gets
me
on
lose
there.
all faith in humanity. It's just so messed up, which is followed by another tweet from Owen himself. At Team YouTube.
Is losing your ethical standing that important for the sake of making money? Like, is making money really that big a thing for the lack of ethical consideration you have? Because holy shit, I suppose at some point it shows where your metric for success is if you're willing to put all that kind of shit aside for the sake of just making a quick buck. And if that's the case, you're not gonna prosper a very healthy community or a very what would be the word? Not a very considerate community if you're predicating your entire ethos off of lies, slander, plagiarism, and, well, basically ripping off somebody's content. And yes, as somebody said in my chat, we're not going to bring politicians into this, because holy shit, that's a whole different story.
My YouTube channel with 3.5 million subs just got terminated.
Yeah, there's no
Please help me
content
get it back. I'm so depressed right
But
now.
how scummy do you have to be? Oh my god, this makes my
YouTube
skin
then
crawl.
responded, Owen doubled down by stating, I never received any community guideline strikes, so I didn't know what I was doing was violating the guideline.
You didn't know? Dude, are you kidding me? It's called common fucking sense! Nah, this is what we in the business call a bad actor. This is the same kind of person that you see on Twitch who sits there naked with sensor bars over their titties trying to pretend as if it's not against TOS. These are the same kinds of people. What Owen did is the same stuff that these beautiful streamers on Twitch are doing who skirt the lines and rules saying, well, I did nothing wrong. Yeah, well, how was I supposed to know that having my tits out on Twitch wasn't relevant? Because there's a clear-cut line. People are not stupid. You damn well know what isn't allowed. And when you then fall back on, well, I didn't know, that to me tells me you knew exactly what you were doing. And that you're simply trying to skirt the rules and trying to get away with the most amount with the least effort possible.
If I received just one strike, that would have been enough for me to realize what I did was wrong. Please give me another chance. I'm so...
There's a very big difference between ignorant bliss and just blatant stupidity. It's like, again, the whole Twitch metric of these quote-unquote cam girl streamers. People are not stupid. People know what is and isn't sex. And in this situation, anyone, even with a very low ethic bar, would know, and with no conscience, even someone with no conscience would know what is a obvious and flagrant abuse of people's trust. And, but that's what they're expecting, right? They say this kind of stuff to dismiss, to be dismissive and to deflect. And they're like, well, dude, I'm just stupid. I'm just stupid. It's the same thing when somebody who's slightly neurodivergent goes up to somebody in public, says, hey, dude, or good example, same kind of thing when somebody goes up to a cosplayer and grabs them by the titty and says, oh, this is what your character did in the anime. And then they get told off and they're like, no, don't do it, I'm neurodivergent. That's not how this works. You know what you do. You know that this is inappropriate. And you use ignorance as your shield. And it's those kind of people that you should stay away from. Because they're never going to make any kind of meaningful content. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting really carried away. Because this kind of little bugger is the kind of person that gives actual content creators a bad name.
so depressed right now, it's my only income.
Ah,
Made
and now he falls back on the depression card, of course!
Back, although Team YouTube concluded
Ladies and
their
gentlemen,
thread
a
by
play-by-play
stating,
of
"Update,
how
we've
to be
reviewed
the
your account
shittest
and
content
confirmed that your
creator."
channel was correctly suspended due to explicit content. Note that you will not be able to access or create any other YouTube accounts, although while everybody was
I am
happy
not a
to
malicious
witness
person,
Owen's
but good.
ban, Steve will do its
Fuck that guy.
termination was a bit more controversial. Steve had always been on YouTube's radar for his unconventional
Yo, is that Ninja?
style of content, eating
Dude, it's
challenges,
Ninja!
prank videos, and beginning in 2021,
Oh, he's a
sponsored
gambling boy.
uploads, for which he was being paid more than $1 million a month.
What?
It's therefore no surprise that
$1
Steve
million
went
a
into
month for gambling. Okay, guys, I'm now quitting my Twitch career and going over to Mixer. Going over to Kick to start my gambling career. I mean, listen, if I have no dignity, no conscience, or anything else, and the only thing I care about is money, I guess I would go to Kick, right?
into this type of content, even picking up a sponsorship from Stake, until he made one simple error, undoing everything that he'd worked
Showing that it was all fake.
YouTube has an extremely strange rule where you're allowed to say the name of any gambling website, but you can't show the URL of the website with the .com included.
Wait, really? Is that true? I mean, I get it, but why is it such a wishy-washy kind of reach around? Like, why is it such a weird gray area? Either you let gambling exist or you don't. Okay, you know what? We're not going to get into YouTube's rules and regulations because that seems like a whole different pit that I'd rather not lose my brain cells for.
Well, in June 2022, Steve
$1 million
uploaded
a
a
month,
gambling
dude. Think of
video
all the
like
porn we
any
could commission.
other, although the URL had been left in as his editor forgot to blur it. Despite Steve having no strikes on
yikes.
any of his channels, YouTube made the choice to permanently delete all of them.
I'm allowed to say I'm playing the website, but they would go to deleting my entire main channel because on my second channel, it wasn't fully blurred.
After which
So, okay. On the ratio of badness, this is not really bad. Like, it's not like he was shouting racial obscenities or filming dead bodies in a forest. And yet people who still film dead bodies in a forest still have their YouTube channels. Like, this seems a bit of an overreaction from Twitch for something that was just a mistake. Like appropriate response for appropriate punishment. The consistency just doesn't seem to be there. Like, why does somebody get this kind of a permanent ban in their entire... Like, does somebody deserve to have their entire career ruined for just a simple mistake? When there are then people who are doing infinitely worse, uploading literal racial obscenities and actual crimes against humanity, but then somebody who oopsies and just accidentally uploads a gambling site? Like, there's no consistency to it. I don't get it. Like, this is a very big overreaction. Like, I think, personally, if you make a mistake that is just a little bit of an oopsie, you know, slap on the wrist, maybe get demonetized for a little bit, or maybe demonetize the video, or maybe take down a couple videos, something. A smaller punishment appropriate for certain things. I mean, the only thing I could possibly imagine, and in my mind, the only reason Twitch would have taken this harsh of a reaction is because it might have affected YouTube's monetizations. Like, because every time, like, YouTube's decision-making always comes down to money. And when it comes to a decision on a channel this size, it's usually a manual takedown. Like, because YouTube has algorithms and AI in place that will scan videos and automatically detect when something's wrong. So you'll get automatic takedowns for most channels. And that's usually appropriate to whatever's happening, which is why sometimes you get people who lose their channel for no good reason. But then, for bigger channels, it tends to be a more manual thing. And the only time that you'll have a response like this... YouTube. My apologies. I meant YouTube. I mean, even Twitch in some respects has a similar prerogative. But when you have a takedown like this, it always comes back to money. YouTube are going to make the decision to do what it takes to make the most money. So this guy was probably making them a lot of money with his channel. But what he did was probably break some kind of rule that meant that YouTube would have lost more money for keeping him. At least that's the way it kind of seems like it would work in my head. Because again, everything on YouTube comes back to money. Like, YouTube does not, like, any big corporation will always do what they can to make the most money. Even when it's like getting a lawsuit. Like, look at Blizzard, for example. Blizzard would happily spend $10 million to pretend a problem never happened so that they can make $12 million later down the line. Like, they spend $10 million to get rid of this guy, losing $10 million because he's not bringing in money for them, but then they gain $12 million because the advertisers they placated gave them that money in return. So they spend 10 million to make 12 million kind of thing. That's the way I see this happening.
Steve said this.
They called me the day of deletion, and it was a girl. She seemed pretty stoked I was getting deleted, and I was like, she seemed happy, and I was with me and my editor, and we're like, bro, like, she's happy.
As a result, the Nelk boys were warned about filming with him.
They basically said, like, your channel's gonna be
So that's
deleted.
the other thing, right? There's a
which
lot
might
of
be harsher
biases.
treatment than that given to Leafy.
Oh!
Between 2013
This guy. This guy. Him in his right in, and I'm gonna right in, and then I'm gonna this. So, have you ever wanted to see an anthropomorphization of fecal matter? Because this individual is literally walking. I also have to say that this picture doesn't do him enough disservice because they've given him far too much of a distinct chin. If you ever want to see what a midlife crisis looks like, this guy went from being this, like, kind of edgy, kind of reactionary guy back in 2013. Now, he's a homophobic, transphobic, anti-human, rhetoric-spouting mother trucker. You want to see what the epitome of a midlife crisis looks like? This guy is the epitome of any attention is good attention. He left the internet for freaking years, and he comes back having put on 50 pounds, and he went from being, you know, kind of edgy to just spouting as much racially and derogatory comments as possible to as many demographics as possible. Like, seriously, go and look at Leafy's Twitter these days. This, in some respects, it's the same thing that happened to Tobuscus. Like, they fell off, and they realized the only way they were going to get attention to try and come, if they wanted to come back, was to pander to the worst, lowest form of life.
2013 and 2016, Leafy built a
I'm not gonna go into
reputation
it, though.
for uploading edgy content, which flowed well with YouTube zeitgeist at the time. However, between 2017 and 2020,
Yeah, I mean, he was edgy
Leafy
even
went
back
on
then, but he
hiatus
wasn't
before returning with a pretty
heinous. He was like that
controversial
typical, like, he was,
He'd upload a video
back in that time, he was very quintessential to the kind of edgy behavior. Like, there was nothing, like, obscene, but it was edgy enough to be like, oh, okay, so he's just letting the intrusive thoughts win. Whereas now, it's just homophobic, racially obscene shit, basically. It was funny. It was cringy funny. Now it's just cringe.
Titled Content Nuke Pokimane, in which he'd offer pretty reasonable criticism.
80% of Pokimane's streams is just her watching videos, adding actually nothing to what she's watching.
As opposed to my 90% of my streams where we sit here watching videos and actually adding commentary. Yes, because, you know, React Andy content is easy, but you can still make something of it. I realize the hypocrisy in saying this, considering we're literally doing a reactionary over reactionary.
Watching whatsoever.
However, he'd then go on to upload 12
Like,
different videos,
there's nothing wrong
clickbaiting
with
Pokimane
React
in the
content. There
title and
honestly isn't.
thumbnail,
But please,
while talking about
please,
unrelated
please, for the love of God, at least try to make it transformative. Put some effort into reacting to what you're watching. Don't just do an XQC and sit there going, and then get up 5 minutes later and let the rest of the video play before you then. Like, I kid you not, I watched it. There was a react I saw from XQC where he starts the video playing, and then he gets up and walks off, and comes back 12 minutes later, and is like, oh, what did I miss? And he uploaded that to his YouTube. He basically did a re-upload of somebody else's content with his webcam in the top corner, without him even being there. It was basically a one-for-one re-upload with his webcam on it. Yeah, if you want a good example about how reactionary content is done right, and probably one that I'll get a bit of flack for, as much as a gremlin as he is, Asmongold does amazing reactionary content. Because he's adding to it. Asmon is unironically a very smart person, even if he does act like a little golem sometimes.
topics in the video itself, such as finance and investing.
Of his last 15 videos, 12 of them were on Pokimane. Having 12 videos
basic,
all insulting Pokimane in the
Charlie's
title
room
and
used to look.
thumbnail, that's viewed as harassment by YouTube.
Despite having no prior strikes on his channel, Leafy woke up to a permanent ban for creating content designed to harass, bully, or threaten. He take to Twitter stating, "Morning at Team YouTube, my channel was suspended yesterday."
So I know
Curious if
earlier that
there's
I
anything
said, I know earlier that I said that you should not deplatform somebody and make them lose their job, unless what they're doing is directly targeting a demographic or a person and is causing physical or psychological harm. When there is actual intent and harm being made, then that is the only exception. I do not think that you should lose your entire form of income for a simple mistake. But when you're being an asshole, when you're being literally the scum of the earth, then maybe. I mean, even in Leafy's case, I would have said maybe give him a warning first, just to make him realize that what he's doing is wrong. Because I think the problem is having a one-hit wonder of losing your, like, having the opportunity to not even get warned that what you've done is wrong. Because sometimes all it takes is, like, the first guy we saw, he was feigning ignorance. He was wishing he could have had that warning. I mean, there's obviously this, like, paradigm here, and this, like, kind of... the paradigm we're looking at is where people want to have that warning so that they can maybe get away with something. That's the negative of it. But in that sense, if you do that, somebody who unironically might be a bit ignorant, at least it might push them in the right direction so they can keep doing what they do, and it means that they don't lose their income from just being a bit edgy. And maybe that'll give them the motivation they need to actually get their content in a format that isn't as shit. I think having absolutely no warning, not at least having some warning. You need one warning. There needs to be at least one warning, unless it is flagrantly, just like somebody sat there shouting racial obscenities or something. But if it's like just somebody has maybe lost the way with their content, or maybe it's just a little bit too edgy, as long as it's not literal derogatory, then just a warning. Just give them a warning. Don't take away their entire income because they're being edgy. Help them shape their content, help them form their content so they can improve. Because otherwise, dude, so many people rely on YouTube for their income. How are they supposed to kind of make a change and then innovate if they just have no chance?
Could do to get it reinstated, or if there's any statement on this you could give on this. However, despite his tweet, Leafy seems pretty unconcerned about having his channel deleted.
If I am going to be banned, like, so be it. The website is shit. What else is there need?
But if they are going to do this, they need to be consistent. There are so many other people
took to Twitter stating, I know I'm going to get asked this, so I'd like to clarify I had nothing to do with Leafy's ban, before adding, don't want my silence to leave room for assumptions. Leafy's ban.
Why is it that every time there's drama on the internet, Pokimane has to be involved? Why is it? Like, now you've got her... Like, she's always embroiled in some kind of drama, is she not? I mean, I've never watched a Pokimane stream. I've never watched anything to do with Pokimane. It's just not my kind of content. I'm sure she's lovely. But she seems to be, like, the punching bag of the internet in these situations.
And was bound to happen eventually. However, someone whose termination was a little more surprising was that of Kabi Lami. He gained 100 million TikTok followers in less than 5 months, and with YouTube launching their own Shorts program, Kabi started posting across the two platforms. His
did he get banned because he was posting to both?
On YouTube as they had on TikTok, giving him over 800 million views and 2 million subscribers during his very first month on the platform. This was then followed by another 800 million views in
I knew this guy was big. Ah, yes, Kabi Lame, as seen from Fortnite. Like, I knew this guy was big, but I didn't realize he was that big. Jesus. So I'm assuming he got banned because he was cross-posting, right? Like, maybe YouTube just saw him doing too much work for TikTok and wanted to get rid of the competition.
Next month, and after only 4 months of uploading to YouTube, Kabi Lami had racked up 2.4 billion views and 5.2 million
I can only hope that one day I get to even a million subscribers on one of my channels.
Why? Well, you see, this wasn't actually Kabi Lami. It was an impersonator who was simply...
a phony! A phony! A big phony! A pretender! Boom! You bad actors!
reposting his content to YouTube. He'd gained 2.4 billion views before YouTube ever realized, and this wasn't the only account doing it. Only 5 days beforehand, YouTube had banned
suppose I'll
another
know
Kami
that,
impersonator with
I'm a success when
4.84
I get
million
other people uploading
subscribers,
my
after which
content.
YouTube found a third impersonator who'd gained over 100 million views in a matter of days before they were also banned. As a result, Kami began uploading content to his own official channel, which remains very much active, unlike JStation.
Whoa, okay. Okay. Technically this one doesn't count, considering it wasn't the official Kaby Lame channel, I guess. But good lord, the fact that you could literally get multiple millions of dollars just by re-uploading somebody else. Like, okay, so you want the spectrum, right? You want the spectrum. So there's this is the spectrum of, okay, so if we have like a little bar here. So if at the top of the bar, high effort content, high effort content. And then at the bottom here is low effort content. So sort of just a little bit below the middle is reactionary content. You know? And at the top you have like self-made, scripted, Maxor style, really high production quality, that kind of like level of stuff. Right? But then at the bottom of the rung, you have Roblox and Minecraft Let's Plays, if you will. And then below the bottom are the re-upload channels. The channels that literally just re-upload other people's content with no additions. That is how bottom of the barrel just re-uploading somebody else's content is. But the problem is, and this is where the issue lies, is that the people at the top are going to make pretty much equivalent money to the people at the bottom. Because the money you make from your channel is not correlative to the effort you put in. So if the line down here is effort, this is not correlative. The more effort you put in does not equate to money. And if we put the third on the side here, if the blue was then the money, people who put the shittest amount of effort in can still make the most amount of money. And that's because YouTube isn't designed in a way to promote effort. It is designed to promote virality and what is most likely to make YouTube money. So you remember how early we were talking money talks and how YouTube does everything they do to make the most amount of money possible? Ethically, they do not care what you upload. The only thing they care is that it works for their advertisers. That's it.
To his own official channel, which remains very much active, unlike JStation.
I've never seen this
his
guy.
termination
All I
began
know
with a
is that
video
he's an
titled
asshole.
"My Girlfriend Alexia
Oh!
Rest in Paradise," in which
I
following.
am nailing it.
Last night we lost
No, I do know this guy.
Alexia.
You know how earlier I told you
Drunk
about the people
driver,
who
guys. She was
fake
on the way
people's
to
deaths and
pick
then
up
do
something
3
for
a.m.
our video
challenges?
we're making on our second channel, Dream Team.
Check out the guy that started
As mentioned,
it all.
JStation's girlfriend had apparently died in a car crash, prompting him to upload another video
Faking
visiting
your
the spot where it
girlfriend's
supposedly
death?
happened.
It's okay, man. Everything's gonna be okay.
However,
then do a
only
3
3
a.m.
days
challenge
later,
to contact her.
JStation began using his girlfriend's death to gain extra engagement.
As you guys know, my girlfriend Alexia just passed away.
Yo, what's going on, guys? I just killed 50 orphans, and we're gonna do a 3 a.m. challenge to contact them to dunk on them in Fortnite. Yo, kids, what's going on in the afterlife? Do you want some V-Bucks? Like and subscribe.
In a tragic accident, guys. We're doing the Ouija board challenge on my dead girlfriend. But
Man, why would you say it like that? Why would you say it like that? Like, I know you're pandering to the lowest form of demographic, the 12-year-old TikTok attention span adult teenagers, but even those kids would understand empathy. Haha, funny, funny. So from a psychological point of view, this is actually more detrimental than you would imagine. Because the way this guy, do you know what this guy is? This guy's a figurehead. This guy is setting the example to the children that are watching his TV. And let's not pretend that anyone is watching this other than children. No one over the age of 15 would watch this guy. And do you know what 12-year-olds are? Impressionable. So what's a 12-year-old going to think when they're watching this? Oh, this guy sounds awfully happy and smiley, and he's disrespecting the dead. I guess that's how I should be. That's why this kind of person does not deserve a platform. This is just scum. Like, again, you think the bottom of the rung, you think that, you know, re-upload content is terrible? This is how to put the maximum amount of effort with the least amount of impact into your work. Maximum amount of effort, least amount of ethics.
So like, but in right now, guys, 1 like equals 1 prayer.
I mean, lest we talk about the
rest in peace.
Prompting subordinary gamers to investigate if she'd even died at all.
No, I don't have anything by that name on the system.
Nobody by that name specifically has suffered any form
and she
of
didn't
death,
even
right?
die.
No.
As a result of the video, Alexia came forward confirming that she hadn't actually
Surprise! She wasn't
died.
dead.
They faked my death. I felt sick to my stomach from the minute.
But you're complicit! You're complicit! In the time they uploaded those videos, there would have been weeks between. How would you not have known? People would have been contacting you going, hey, are you dead? And she would have been like, nah. The fact that you didn't come forwards at the beginning shows your intent and purpose. And I'm sorry, you are as complicit as the other person is. Everything from here on in is as fake as your collagen-filled lips.
That he posted it.
Before going on to add that the couple had since broken up.
Like the time that she was mean to me.
But here's the problem.
So mean.
You lie once, that instantly means that everything you say afterwards can't be taken seriously. You have no weight behind your words. So you saying that you broke up, you crying like that, this is about as believable as Logan Paul's apology video. There is no sincerity at all to it. The only thing you missed here was having a big deep breath at the beginning.
And I just don't know why.
Despite having posted years worth of unsavory content, it seemed faking his girlfriend's death was a step too far, as YouTube would permanently delete JStation's channel on the 12th of March 2021. JStation responded by stating, I didn't even do anything wrong, and I made videos all year getting no controversy. However, when these delusions failed to bring back his channel, he concluded, I'm going to sue them. Crazy. Anyways, I'm done. Nothing I can do now, which is the same conclusion drawn by
so much money from you suing them.
The channel began in 2008 and featured 7 girls for the 7 days of the week that upload everything from skits to day in the lives, amassing over 5.6 billion views by 2018 when the channel...
I don't pretend to question the kind of people that would watch this. And I know that slice of life videos are great for the youth, that the youth really enjoy these kind of like idolization videos because they see people on YouTube, like kids see people on YouTube and are like, wowee. But out of all these subscribers, you then have to question how many of them are honestly the people they say they are. And you know what, the less said about that, the better.
Took a pretty dark turn. The channel was owned by a 55-year-old named Ian Rylett, who on the 17th of August 2018 was accused of acting inappropriately with one of the 7 Supergirls.
I don't want to say that I called it, but what I meant was pedos. Predators, if you will. Chris Hansen enthusiasts. Good lord! Talk about predictability. Listen. If it smells like a duck, if it sounds like a duck, if it looks like a duck, then goddammit, it's a duck.
Roughly 7 months later, Ian pleaded guilty to the incident and wasn't only sentenced to 3 months in prison, but was also legally banned from working on YouTube.
Good!
As a result, 7 Supergirls was terminated on the 12th of March 2019.
And the problem is, I feel sorry for the girls. Even though he was being inappropriate with them, I guarantee those girls were still making money from this. And they probably did make their fair share of money, and they probably made a good amount, more than they ever would have at that age. But that's their livelihood's gone. That dude was selfish.
At the time being the most subscribed channel ever to receive a permanent ban. That would be until 9 months later, when YouTube's scummiest copycat was banned for stealing content. The Indonesian channel named Kalon Sarjana had gained over 13 million subscribers by employing a highly unethical strategy that essentially find already successful videos spoken in English.
There is a whole swath of discussion to be had here about faking your videos, copying videos. I mean, look at the restoration videos on YouTube currently. The amount of people who fake restoration videos or these like tropical construction videos where it's like these tribal people making things out in the wilderness. But suffice it to say, it all summarizes back to people just being very, very bad actors and wanting to get the most amount of money with the least amount of effort possible.
Before copying the thumbnail in its entirety, adding their own watermark, and uploading it to Indonesian YouTube, where the original creator had no way of.
The dude didn't even change anything! That is literal plagiarism! But the problem is there's no rule against that. Like, there's very little legislation that prevents plagiarism, which is why a lot of the big name industry producers get away with stealing people's ideas because they have the money to do so. Like there was a big kerfuffle a while ago about a movie producer who literally stole some kid's entire plot line, but they had the money to, again, it's that idea of sunk cost. They spend $5 million to sue this kid so that he couldn't sue them, but then they gained 20 to 50 million off of the sales of the movie. When you're that big, the law doesn't really matter because you just pay to make it go away.
Finding it. However, all of this changed in November 2019 when British YouTuber JT posted his own upload titled "YouTuber with 12 million subs steals my video."
This channel had the audacity to steal my thumbnail, put an emoji on it, and then put their watermark on it. They put their...
Okay, no, just as a thing, if you're a 12-year-old TikTok attention span adult teenager and you look at this, which one are you going to click on? I mean, at least with XQC, he puts his webcam on the video to make it look like he's adding something to it. In this case, he's literally just re-uploading the original content.
Their watermark on my thumbnail and claimed it as theirs. This YouTuber has stolen my thumbnail, stolen all the information from my video. They literally watched my video and took everything. They took the screenshots, they gave me no credit for my own DMs. This guy has literally just ripped me off completely, okay?
JT then highlighted another crazy fact.
This guy is the biggest YouTuber in Indonesia and he's stealing my stuff. He steals from people so much, okay, that he's got in his description for copyright matters, please contact us at this email. He did this because he knows he's stealing content.
Leading the Indonesian media to talk about Callan's unethical practices. A YouTube account from Indonesia with more than 12 million subscribers has been accused of stealing other people's content, with the article attaching a side-by-side comparison of some of the videos they'd stolen. Having been exposed by his own country, Callan wrote an apology on Twitter translating to "We from the entire extended family of Callan Sarjana apologize to the YouTube channel JT for using ideas, thumbnails, and video prototyping without permission," before posting a second tweet reading, "Thank you for all your corrections. Hopefully the things that have happened will truly become a lesson for us to not make any mistake in the future." However, it was already too late. JT and two other YouTubers who had their videos stolen chose to simultaneously copyright strike Callan Sarjana, terminating the channel on the grounds of multiple third-party claims of copyright infringement regarding material.
I kind of agree with this. Even if this guy had been warned, like I said earlier that I want people to get warnings before they get an outright ban. This is the kind of person, and you can tell by their content, this person has no substance of their own. Even if this guy was warned, he would just do it again. This is how, yeah, exactly. This is how the copyright system is used correctly. But the thing is, you can always tell when somebody lacks substance. When somebody lacks substance, they're never going to have it again. They're never going to get it. Because they put in no effort to make their own content. If they were to get warned and told to make their own content, they wouldn't. They just find craftier ways of hiding the fact they keep stealing stuff.
The user posted.
He was a fraud, he deserved it. You steal content, you pay the price. That's just how it is.
Although Indonesia wasn't the only country to lose their most subscribed channel, as Turkey's biggest was also banned at around the same time. The channel began with two kids and their father Muhammad, focusing on children's content before they'd find
children's YouTube channels, I'm not going to make a comment on it, but again, there's a reason why YouTube and TikTok pander towards the younger demographic, and this is kind of why.
Involved in Elsagate. Elsagate was the nickname for a 2016 genre of content
this is what I meant
YouTubers took kid-friendly when I said like Spider-Man
YouTube
and Elsa
goes down a very
mixed them
weird,
with very unsavory themes.
This is the equivalent of Fortnite episodic videos. I mean, I get it. Kids TV, right? Kids TV. But I'd like to think that kids even have enough common sense to know what smells like shit probably is shit.
Inappropriate videos have infiltrated YouTube Kids, often showing popular children's characters
and
in
that's
violent
the darker
and
side
even
of this.
sexual scenarios.
The motive behind the videos was pretty damn obvious.
Here's one from 1 month ago. 117 million views.
Although with so many people
to explain what this is, basically, they would upload videos that looked very child-friendly, you know, people dressed up as Elsa, Spider-Man, the Joker, because, you know, the Joker and Spider-Man could never be bad, and they would subvertly and surreptitiously hide this as fetish content. Like, they would be doing really weird stuff in these videos. Like, inflation stuff, pregnancy. You know, they would be... They finessed the entire algorithm to take advantage of the extra clicks from child content, whilst also putting in their like, guys, if you're into kinky shit, great, but there are appropriate places for that. Not in the kids part of YouTube. I'm just saying.
Parents began to talk about it.
There is a terrifying new trend in middle schoolers that I need to tell you about.
Prompting advertisers to pull their ads from the site. We are shocked and appalled to see that our adverts have appeared alongside such exploitative and inappropriate content, said a Mars spokesperson in a statement. We've taken the decision to immediately suspend all our online advertising.
I suppose the iconography of them having Spider-Man with a mask.
Forcing YouTube
Spider-Man
to take
takes
a
the
stance
mask off.
against
Surprise!
these
It's
videos.
kink work.
Only 4 days after Mars and Adidas pulled their ads, YouTube removed over 150,000 Elsagate videos, turned off comments on more than 625,000 videos, and terminated more than 200.
You remember how PewDiePie basically caused the adpocalypse back in like 2017? This was the second coming of that. Because PewDiePie said the N-word, all of a sudden, boom, no ads. But things started getting better. And then this stuff started happening, and all the brands were like, "Ugh, we don't want to be associated with this kind of degeneracy. Time to go and sponsor some furries instead."
170 accounts, one of which being Turkey's biggest channel with over 15 million subs. Although no termination is stranger than that of Manoj Parahar. The channel was included amongst hundreds of banned multi-million subscriber Indian Shorts channels, who all employed the exact same strategy. They'd find Western videos that had been successful in English, cut them down into shorts and provide a Hindi voiceover, essentially re-uploading other people's content, with their language being the only difference. In an article discussing these channels, one owner stated, "I would pick any video and do a voiceover. I realized that if we do voiceovers in a short story..."
Like, reactionary content is the lowest form of slop, I get it, but at least there's some effort of transformative nature. Just, like, there's no... The intent there is... They're trying to cover it as if they're trying to put something in by dubbing over it. But you and I, everyone knows that it is just them taking advantage and putting the least amount of work in possible to be lazy.
Then we're bound to get views, so I just stuck to that, although this wasn't the end of the article. Over the past few months, he claims 8 such fact channels have been banned. The rate at which YouTube grew their channels, it's also taking them away at the same rate. Many of these fact channels add voiceovers to content belonging to other creators, and that it's important for creators to only upload videos that they have made or
they wouldn't even link to the original content.
The biggest of these channels,
they wouldn't even link to the original creator.
was able to gain,
you know what this is? This is Sniper Wolf levels of scummery. Without doubt.
million subscribers in just over a year, before YouTube also smashed it with the ban hammer. However, even then, Super Jojo Nursery Rhymes was banned with even more. Super Jojo caught copying Cocomelon. This Reddit post referenced a Cartoon Brew article reading, Super Jojo shamelessly free rides on Cocomelon's success by closely copying and exploiting every possible element of the Cocomelon channel, sometimes even frame by frame, which was displayed in the previously mentioned Reddit post, where user Billy Disney showed just how badly the copying really was. As a result, in August 2021, Cocomelon launched a lawsuit against Super Jojo, claiming that the defendant has built its Super Jojo YouTube business by blatantly copying Cocomelon. 1 month after this, a new article was published reading, YouTube terminates Cocomelon rival Super Jojo channel with 22 million subscribers, citing that they had received multiple third-party claims of copyright infringement. Super Jojo's ban lasted for 2 months, before the channel was then restored soared. However, this wasn't the end of the story.
Of course.
The channel's growth
Then
took a
again, they kept doing
nosedive
it.
following their return to YouTube, and in July 2023, a jury has decided that Baby Bus committed copyright infringement with its animated series Super JoJo, and as a result, they were ordered to pay Cocomelon $23.5 million. In that very same month, Super
Kid
JoJo
content is very low effort. Kids don't need much to be entertained. I get it. And I'm not one to judge that kind of content because it's not made for me. But when I see low effort content being copied by other people wanting to make low effort content, it really epitomizes the world we live in, right?
wiped their channel clean,
Oh my
deleting
gosh.
everything down to their profile picture. So while the channel is still technically active, Super JoJo could easily be considered the largest YouTube.
You know, I want to just kind of put it out there. This really puts into perspective the rest of the internet, right? Like, people complain about VTubers, people complain about Twitch being nonsensical. At least we know that we're never going to be as bad as these kinds of people.